Hotel bookings in Kenya remained up as the country held elections in August, a decade after a disputed presidential poll led to violence and left the vital tourism sector on its knees. Tour operators and hoteliers are worried, though, that a presidential rerun slated for October the 26th may hurt the industry if political violence erupts in the country.
Tourist bookings remained up in Kenya during the August 8th polls, which were fairly peaceful, the country's tourism federation has said. Tourists heading to Kenya shrugged off fears of potential violence during the elections, visiting the East African country in droves for a chance to see the annual wildebeest migration in the Masai Mara, among other attractions. The presidential and parliamentary elections were held a decade after a disputed presidential election led to violence, which left more than 1,000 people dead and the vital tourism sector on its knees in 2007. Kenya's Supreme Court nullified President Uhuru Kenyatta's election win on September the 1st, citing irregularities, and ordered a new poll within 60 days. An unprecedented move in Africa, where governments often hold sway over judges. The country is expected to hold fresh presidential polls on October the 26th, in which opposition leader Raila Odinga will get another chance at the presidency. Mohamed Hersi is the chairman of the Kenya Tourist Federation, an umbrella association of hoteliers, tour operators and airlines.
We've not been affected in any way by the elections, for simple reason that the campaign period, the build-up to the elections, the election itself, all went quite smoothly, apart from a few pockets here and there, especially after the announcements. But by and large, even in the international media, there's nothing negative that was really picked out which will have forced anybody to reconsider their visit to Kenya.
Tourism, which is a top hard currency earner for Kenya, had an improvement in arrivals and revenue last year, but the performance was still way below 2011, when visitors jumped to a record high, a year considered as a benchmark. The country earned 99.7 billion Kenya shillings from tourism last year, up from 84.6 billion shillings in the previous year, according to government statistics. British tourists Alan Pattenden and his wife June, who visited the country 41 times, said they felt safe while on holiday.
There always will be violence. I mean, we have violence in England on political matters, but it's always a certain section who will cause trouble at any time, whether it's politics or something else. No, I have no worries at all.
Kenya is a very beautiful, very nice country. I was in a big stress because I don't know how I will be feeling in this country, but now I am so happy.
Tour operators and hoteliers are keenly watching developments in the country, where protests have been held in recent weeks as opposition supporters demand the sacking of election officials before the rerun of a presidential vote. Odinga has accused the Election Commission of being a puppet to Kenyatta's ruling Jubilee Party.
Yes, we are very worried, especially now that the presidential elections were annulled and we have to go to a second elections, which means it's supposed to be the 17th, but again there's a lot of debate whether it will happen, it should not happen. So generally that is not good for business, and it is leaving everybody on the edge. You really don't know what's going to happen.
Kenya boasts of palm-fringed beaches and safari trails that attract over 1 million visitors every year.